So are K-pop concerts in Europe and Korea really that different? Watch this video to find out. Hello, this is Mai from SK Wonderland and welcome to my channel. Over the last couple of 5 years I've attended several concerts in Europe and was lucky enough to experience some in Korea as well. While the main idea is the same, I noticed some differences from there and here, which I'll be talking about today. I'll divide everything up in 3 main categories, so the tickets, the merchandise and an experience inside the venue itself. However, I do have to add that I've only attended groups from JYP, so it might be completely inaccurate when it comes to other ones, but I think the whole idea will probably be the same in general. Before we're getting into that, however, let me ask you to look either at my Twitter account or my Instagram, where I'll be selling several of my K-pop items in order to save up for my Korean study. Or have a look at my Buy Me a Coffee. But yeah, let's look at those differences. The difference already starts from pre-sale. The European ones are often open to anyone. In some cases you have to sign up, which doesn't cost any money, so you get a pre-sale code. In some even rarer cases you need to pay the membership for that specific artist or group. In Korea, however, the last one is way more often the case, which has 2 big downsides. One is that you can reapply for membership throughout the year. So then open it up and you get a couple of weeks to apply for it. After it's closed, you get 1 or 2 more attempts throughout the year. So it can happen that by the time you want to get tickets and you don't have a membership yet, that you won't be able to get one. Also, I don't really think it's the case that you can borrow one from a friend either. The other downside is that it can be really expensive, at least if you have to have it shipped outside of Korea. For Stray Kids, for example, I paid 35,000 won for the membership itself, but then it was 40,000-70,000 won to have it shipped to my place. On top of that, I also got a very big, large bill for custom fees. So if you have to have it shipped outside of Korea, it can be really expensive. The second difference when it comes to ticket is the price. The European ones often have different price ranges. The cheapest one is between 70 and 100 euro and gives you a seating at the first row back. Then the most expensive one is usually towards 200 euro and in extreme cases it's way above 300. For this ticket you get either a seating or a standing spot that has the best view on stage or an area that's closest by the stage. Often it includes either 1 or 2 of the following benefits, or sometimes even more than that, which is early access, the sound check, a high touch, a photo with the artist, a signed album, or just merch of the artist in general. Concert tickets in Korea, on the other hand, are all the same price. I paid 110,000 won for the Stray Kids in Seoul back in 2019. This does mean that you'll end up paying the same price when you sit all the way in the back with the worst view, compared to someone with the best view. So it really comes down to first come first serve. A good internet connection is definitely a must in this case, but you also need to be really quick with your payment. Well, it's completely normal in Europe that once you put your ticket in your basket, that is reserved for you, so you get a couple of minutes you can make your payment. In Korea this is not the case at all. What also really threw me off is how I couldn't copy paste my credit card number. I had to enter it manually, especially for the last numbers. It was like this pad and all the numbers were mixed up, and I had to manually enter the last numbers. This really slowed me down as I wasn't prepared for this at all. Another thing is that none of the tickets come with special benefits. Now if you're thinking of buying a ticket secondhand, let me tell you that reselling isn't really a thing in Korea, which has a lot to do with the fact that they take identify yourself before you go to the concert a lot more serious when it comes to Europe. For example, when you pick up your ticket, they check if the name that is written on there actually matches to the one in your passport or on your ID card. And they also do this again before you enter the venue. Which is why I don't think you can really borrow a membership from someone else when you buy the tickets. I've never really tried it on myself, so I can't confirm this. But I think when you're buying tickets with a membership, that your name will automatically be on there. So the person that has the membership will have to be there when you pick up the tickets and when you enter the venue. So maybe if the person is actually there, then it might be possible. but then you have to make sure they actually are in Korea and actually join you for the concert. On a more positive note, there's no cancellation fee for the tickets, so there's a bigger chance that the tickets will be put back on sale again. I began my August back in 2015, when K-pop concerts in Europe were not really a thing yet, so I had to wait until 2018 before I was able to experience my first one. By then I had all these big expectations about the kind of merchandise I'd be able to buy there, considering how I've seen everything that appeared in Korea over the last couple of years. I saved up so much money specifically to spend it on that. Then the day of the concert arrived and they literally sold one type of t-shirt that you could buy in either white or black, and that was it. I can't even begin to express how disappointed I was. I must admit that over the last couple of years they started selling a bit more things. Usually it's a handful of items, then it's a t-shirt, a tote bag, photo cards, and in some cases things like hoodie, a light stick, or a cap, things like that. The merchandise line in Korea tends to be a lot bigger. It can be 15 up to 25, and within that they usually have different versions. So let's say they sell phone straps, then they have one of each member. So for Stray Kids it will be 8 different phone straps. The queue is also a lot longer in general, and they have a more structured way of handling it. So if you're coming close to the register, then you get this form with all the items on there, and you can already enter which ones you would want and the amount you would want. There's usually a limit of 2 per product, but even then, some can sell out really fast depending on the group. I remember that for day 6, a couple of items sold out. For Stray Kids on the other hand, I just queued up for hours on end, and when it was finally my time, almost everything sold out. It got so extreme that after the first concert, which ended at, I don't know, like 9 or 10 p.m, people already started queuing up for the next day in order to be able to get merchandise. That was a really extreme case, I have to add. Okay, so back to buying the merchandise. So you enter your form, and then we get to the first checkout point, like the first area. You hand it in, you're able to pay there, you get your receipt, and then you go to the next one. You hand it in to the staff member there. They will check the items off on the list, and you will get your products. Usually they have some kind of benefit. For if you buy a certain amount, you get photo cards, or for a product you get a Polaroid. Really depends on the group and what type of concert it is. In some cases you'll be able to get something special, like the actual Polaroid that gets taken, or they have some kind of contest where you'll be able to take a Polaroid with artist itself, but those are really rare cases.
Next to merch, there's also a lot more to do around the venue. It almost feels like a little fair. People with an official membership can usually pick up a little item like a photo card, but many fans also hand out several freebies or sell fan-made merch. Also, there's usually a place where you can get your light stick tested or connected.
Then experience inside the venue itself. I already mentioned before in my other Kpop 101 video how there's the standing tickets and seating tickets. However, that I had several experiences where I had to stand throughout the entire concert despite having paid for a seating one. In Korea, however, all of them are assigned seating, and I don't think anyone would consider standing throughout the concert when they have a seat assigned to them. I also think that the atmosphere in general was really different there. A friend of mine actually described it as finding it really dull and boring. I, however, wouldn't really use those words. I think that the general fan over there is a lot more subdued, and that the atmosphere is just a lot more calm. The general European fan would more likely sing along or scream sing along, or a combination of both, or just be very loud. And of course, since you have these standing spots, it's more easier to jump or dance along, which wouldn't really be the case in Korea. So those, I would say, are the big differences in atmosphere. I also noticed that they're a lot more strict when it comes to filming in Korea. In Europe, they only make an issue out of it if you bring a big professional camera. And even in the cases where filming is not allowed, people don't really follow it, or it doesn't have really big consequences. At least I've never noticed where they actually acted upon it. In Korea, that's a really different case. If there's no filming allowed, especially when it comes to a real concert, you bet they're gonna make sure that you follow it. There were cases when there were staff members specifically put on occasions to keep an eye on where the people were filming on it. That was just their task, like looking at the people, seeing if anyone was filming, and if that did happen, they would tell the person off and make sure that they stopped. There were even cases where I've seen people getting dragged out of their chair and taken out of the venue. From what I've heard, their footage gets deleted and they were even put on a blacklist. I can't really confirm this, as neither I or people I know have ever been in this situation, but apparently that's what happens. So if you're in Korea and there's a rule about no filming, then it's best that you don't. Then finally, while concerts in Europe are usually during the night, the ones in Korea can be during the day as well. For example, in the late afternoon. So what do you guys think? I hope you find it an interesting watch, and who knows, maybe we'll be able to use this in the future as well. What do you think of these differences? Which one surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments below. So that's it for now, and I will see you guys again next time for another Kpop 101 video. As always, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more future content. And I hope to see you again really soon. Bye for now!